volunteer at the Lewis Army Museum at JBLM in Washington State. I have been a volunteer here since December 2019, so almost going on 7 years. And today we were going to talk about World War I hate belts and souvenir belts. So starting here on what we believe is a piece of old trousers or something. This looks like it's probably been waterproofed. This is actually not a belt, so I would call it more of a souvenir or hate belt. It depends on what you want to call them. So here, starting right here, we have the Royal Artillery Cap Badge. And next in line is the 21st London Battalion shoulder title. And then this button right here is the British Royal Coat of Arms coat button. And up here we have Imperial German or Prussian coat button. And then this here is also a probably a collar insignia because it's not arced like this one is over here. It's just a straight one. So more than likely it's anyway, so this one here is the Royal Garrison Artillery shoulder title. This one here is an Australian cap badge. And we're going right here. We have the Royal Inniskilling Fusiliers. And here we have the maple leaf. This is the Canadian Expeditionary Force cap badge. This small button right here is a French Ordnance coat button. And going along to this one is this South Irish Horse cap badge. This one right here is a U.S. Army coat button. And this one here, interestingly enough, found out that the Italians did serve on the Western Front with the Allies. And this is the 2nd Italian Corps. And then going to the last one on this one here is another Royal Artillery cap badge. And it was common, it seems, that they would start both ends of the belts with the same items. You'll see repetitions of they kind of make a little pattern. So, okay. All right, so moving on to this is a British web belt. And starting here on the first one, this is a U.S. Army coat button. And this C is for the British Army Cadets Battalion C. And here we go. This one here is a Machine Gun Corps shoulder title. This one right here is a French Ordnance coat button. This one here is a British officer's, or it could be a Canadian officer's star. The stars were only used for the first 3 ranks of the officers. So one for subaltern and 2 for altern, and then if they had 3 of these on their shoulders, this would be for a captain. Below here we have the British Army Cyclist Corps shoulder arc. Here we have another U.S. Army coat button. Here we have a British Army Royal Artillery button. And this one here is a Prussian button for a tunic. This one here is a Canadian Armed Forces button. And below this we have the Middlesex Regiment shoulder title. Here we have another smaller Australian cap badge. And usually, as in the other one that we saw previously, it's a smaller version, and it's probably, here's the larger version here on the other belt. And the smaller one here is probably for an enlisted person, because usually most armies, the officers always had a larger cap badge and the enlisted personnel had a smaller one. And going to this right here, this is a French Ordnance coat button. And here we have a smaller version of the U.S. Army coat button. And here we have another one, as we previously talked about on this belt. This is for the first 3 ranks of the British Army officers. And right below this, we have a British Army Tank Corps shoulder arc. And this one here, interestingly enough, upon further research, we believe it to be an Anzac insignia. That's the Australia New Zealand Army Corps. And right here we have British Army Cyclist Corps brooch. It's not a rank. I think it might be a sweetheart piece or something along those lines. So we're pretty sure about that. And then going right here, we have the British Royal Engineers collar insignia. And below this here, we have a French uniform button for the Army Health Service. Next in line, we have another Machine Gun Corps shoulder title. And then lastly, we have the British Army Cadets Battery C.